I heard that the son, Nick, went into his parents' house, stabbed both mom and dad, and that the daughter, I guess, that she found them and that the mom was still alive.
At 77, Billy Crystal finally pulls the curtain back on the truth about Rob Reiner. And it all starts long before Hollywood fame ever came calling. Born William Edward Crystal on March 14, 1948 in Manhattan, Billy was raised on Long Island in a home buzzing with rhythm, laughter, and larger-than-life personalities. His childhood was anything but ordinary. Music, stories, and show business energy filled every corner of the house, shaping his instincts early on.
And apparently she called the ambulance and went in the ambulance with her mother. Michelle died in the ambulance, but had enough time to tell her daughter that it was Nick.
His father, Jack Crystal, wasn't just connected to entertainment. He lived it as a respected jazz promoter who worked closely with legends like Billie Holiday and Duke Ellington. Billy didn't read about icons. He grew up around them. Backstage moments, smoky clubs, and late-night conversations became his classroom.
Nick attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party Saturday night with his parents, Michelle and Rob. Maybe Nick was not invited to Conan O'Brien's party. He was wearing a hoodie.
Before he even knew what a career was, creativity was locked into his DNA. Then everything changed when Billy was just 15 years old. His father's sudden death ripped the foundation out from under him. The loss hit hard and fast, forcing him to grow up overnight. That pain never left him, but instead of breaking him, it carved something deeper.
Reports are that he was acting weird, apparently accosting celebrities outside. Nick reportedly stormed off in a huff after a tiff with Bill Hader of SNL and Barry at Conan's Christmas party, and that Rob had been telling people, friends, that they were scared for Nick and scared for his mental state, that it was deteriorating.
That early grief sharpened his emotional awareness and later became the hidden engine behind his comedy, giving it depth, edge, and truth. Determined to move forward, Crystal attended Nassau Community College before transferring to New York University's Tisch School of the Arts. There, he didn't just learn how to perform, he learned how to feel, listen, and connect. Acting, writing, timing, and discipline came together, preparing him to move effortlessly between laugh-out-loud comedy and moments that hit straight to the chest. Billy Crystal burst into public view in the 1970s with his role as Jody Dallas on the groundbreaking sitcom Soap. Jody wasn't a throwaway character or a cheap punchline. He was one of the first openly gay characters on American television portrayed with empathy and dimension. Crystal's performance was bold, fearless, and ahead of its time. It sparked controversy and proved Billy wasn't afraid to take risks while television doors were flying open. At the same time, he was grinding on the stand-up circuit, earning respect fast with razor-sharp timing and flawless impressions. When he joined Saturday Night Live in the early 1980s, he didn't just fit in, he dominated. Characters like Fernando Lamas declaring, "You look marvelous," and his smooth Sammy Davis Jr. impressions became instant classics. He didn't mock people, he honored them with style and precision. The late 1980s and 1990s became Billy Crystal's unstoppable golden era. He shattered the idea that comedians couldn't carry emotional weight on film. When Harry Met Sally hit in 1989, he redefined the romantic lead as Harry Burns. Crystal mixed humor with insecurity, vulnerability, and raw honesty, messy, human, and impossible to resist. That success launched a powerful run, including City Slickers in 1991, earning him an Academy Award nomination, Mr. Saturday Night, Forget Paris, and Analyze This. These weren't shallow laughs. They explored aging, masculinity, regret, ego, and redemption. And Crystal leaned into it all with sharp self-awareness. Then, animation opened a whole new lane. As the voice of Mike Wazowski in Pixar's Monsters, Inc. franchise, Billy reached an entirely new generation. His fast-talking energy and big-hearted delivery proved his appeal had no age limit. And through it all, Billy Crystal became inseparable from the Academy Awards themselves. Hosting with confidence, warmth, and wit, he turned the Oscars into an event that actually felt fun again. Having hosted 9 times, he didn't just present Hollywood's biggest night, he owned it, with opening monologues that became full-blown events packed with music, satire, and jabs that never crossed the line. At 77, looking back with honesty and no filters, Billy Crystal's journey proves that behind the laughs was always depth, discipline, and a lifetime of truth waiting to be told. He made Hollywood laugh at itself while somehow making everyone feel welcome. Crystal brought celebration to the stage, not chaos. Instead of stirring drama, he united movie stars and everyday viewers through shared laughter and joy, a rare balance in a space where egos often collide. Even outside award shows, one thing never changed: his love for the live stage, where his connection with audiences felt raw and real. That passion exploded on Broadway with his one-man shows, especially 700 Sundays. These performances stripped away the glitz and went straight to the heart. Crystal opened up about family, loss, love, and memory in a way that felt personal, honest, and deeply human. This wasn't loud comedy. It was emotional storytelling that landed where people live. Audiences saw a quieter, more reflective side of him. And it worked. These shows proved Billy's real power isn't just punchlines, it's making people feel seen and understood. That late career success reminded everyone why he stayed beloved for decades, not by chasing trends, but by staying real. Then came another bold move in 2022. Crystal returned to Broadway with Mr. Saturday Night, a musical adaptation of his own film. Instead of playing it safe, he doubled down, writing the show and starring in it. That wasn't nostalgia, it was confidence. Backed by experience, he brought humor, depth, and lived-in truth to a role that captured the highs and lows of a life spent chasing laughs. The production became a full-circle moment, celebrating decades of comedy, performance, and survival in a tough industry. It landed strong and earned him Tony nominations for Best Actor and Best Book of a Musical, a rare combination that spoke louder than the bright lights. Crystal's voice also flowed through his writing. Over the years, he's authored 5 books filled with wit, warmth, and insight. His standout 2013 memoir, Still Foolin' 'Em, pulled back the curtain on show business with humor and honesty. No fake shine, just real stories. Together, his Broadway work and books paint the picture of an artist who never stopped growing. Off stage, Billy Crystal kept finding ways to connect just as deeply. His personal life reflected the same loyalty seen in his work. On June 4, 1970, long before fame was guaranteed, he married his high school sweetheart, Janice Goldfinger. This wasn't a Hollywood stunt. It was real love built before the spotlight. Their marriage became one of the most enduring in entertainment, standing firm without drama or chaos, just commitment, respect, and shared history. Billy Crystal's greatest role may be the one he never had to rehearse. He's often said those values came from his parents, whom he remembered as a couple who genuinely enjoyed being together, laughing, talking, and moving through life as a unit. That image stuck with him. It became his emotional blueprint. Crystal didn't grow up thinking marriage was something you simply maintain. He learned it's something you actively live. Love meant showing up, cracking jokes, staying patient, and standing tall when things got rough. Those lessons shaped not only his home life, but the grounded way he handled fame. Billy and Janice raised 2 daughters, each carving her own creative path. Their eldest, Jennifer Crystal Foley, pursued acting without living in her father's shadow. Their younger daughter, Lindsay Crystal, chose a behind-the-scenes role as a producer, proving influence doesn't always need the spotlight. As parents, Billy and Janice kept family first. Even as his career surged, They worked to keep life stable and supportive. Over time, the family grew again with grandchildren, a role Billy embraced with pure joy. He said grandparenthood slows time, making every moment count even more. For decades, the Crystals called Pacific Palisades home, a quiet pocket of Los Angeles known for calm streets, ocean air, and quiet strength. Their house wasn't just a place to sleep, it was a memory vault. Birthdays, private laughs, career reflections, and moments the public never saw all lived inside those walls. That sense of permanence shattered in January 2025 when their home was destroyed in the devastating Palisades fire. The loss went far beyond bricks and beams. Decades of memories, keepsakes, and personal history vanished overnight, closing a chapter that held most of their married life. Yet even in that heartbreak, their bond didn't crack. Friends noted that if any couple could survive something like this, it was one built long before fame, strengthened by shared values and tested by time. At 77, Billy Crystal stands in a season of reflection, speaking more openly about the people who shaped him and the love that carried him forward. Among all his collaborators, Rob Reiner stands tall as one of the most important creative partners of his life. For years, Crystal spoke about Rob with warmth but restraint, choosing his words carefully. Now, with distance and hard-earned clarity, he's finally telling the full truth. Not gossip, not drama, but something far more real. People always ask me what it was really like working with Rob, Crystal says. And the truth is, it was one of the most defining experiences of my life. That's not hype, that's reflection. Crystal explains that Reiner wasn't a director who barked orders. He was hands-on, curious, and fully invested, creating space for ideas to breathe. His understanding of comedy went deeper than punchlines or quick laughs. Rob knew comedy comes from character and honesty, Crystal says. He never wanted jokes just to be jokes. That mindset shaped everything, especially during When Harry Met Sally, where Crystal remembers being pushed harder than ever. He challenged me constantly, Crystal admits. Not cruelly, not with ego, but in ways that made him better. Reiner's calm confidence gave actors room to stretch. He'd casually suggest a new approach, and suddenly something raw and unexpected would emerge. One truth Crystal now shares openly is just how emotionally sharp Reiner really was. People see the beard, the big laugh, the presence, he says. But underneath that is someone who truly listens. Crystal believes that awareness is why Reiner's films still land decades later. He knew when to talk and when to stay quiet. Their partnership wasn't always smooth. We didn't always agree, Crystal says. There were days I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. But those moments weren't cracks, they were sparks. We were fighting for the movie, he explains, not for ourselves. Looking back, Crystal sees those clashes as proof of respect. If Reiner didn't care, he wouldn't push back. If Crystal didn't trust him, he wouldn't listen. That mutual trust kept the work sharp and honest. The biggest truth of all is how deeply Reiner reshaped Crystal's view of storytelling. Rob taught me that comedy can be romantic, philosophical, even painful, Crystal says. It doesn't have to be loud to be funny. Sometimes it just has to be true. That lesson changed everything. Crystal credits Reiner with helping him grow beyond stand-up and impressions into fully realized acting. He saw me in a way I didn't yet see myself, Crystal admits. Today, he speaks about Reiner with pure gratitude. I owe him a lot, he says, not just for my career, but for my confidence. Their collaboration worked because it was built on friendship, trust, and real respect. We trusted each other, Crystal says, and that's why people still talk about those movies today. You can feel it on screen. The honesty, the vulnerability, the moments that hit a little too close to home. At 77, Crystal isn't rewriting the past or chasing headlines. He's honoring what they built together. If you're lucky, he reflects, you get to work with someone who changes you. Then he says it plainly, without hesitation. Rob changed me, and I'll always be thankful for that. That's not nostalgia, that's respect, earned the hard way.